I mean, it's theoretically public, but we know that it's basically controlled by the U.S. and by the big moneyed interest. Or the Bank for International Settlements, which is completely private. It's the central banker's central bank in Basel, Switzerland, 2 blocks from where I am right now.
How perfect.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could knock on their door. I would not advise it at this time. We want to get you to Spain.
Yeah.
You know, you never know where your friends can come from, though. Betty Sue Flowers shared many years ago with me, and she said, even people and agencies that you think would be total adversarial relationships, sometimes you can find a good friend or someone who you have favor with or a group that has favor with you to be able to listen to you and to be able to do things for the public good. But I think once an agency shows itself over and over and over again to be against the public good, then you have to take heed. It's an interesting paradox.
Well, there's a difference between the agency and the people working there, because
Right.
my daughter actually works with these people, and I mean, she works in financing of. She works for a UN NGO, and they're funding alternative energy development. So she knows people from the BIS, which are very perfectly well-meaning, nice,
Sure.
normal people, just as people from the Federal Reserve, people from all these institutions are well-meaning, but somebody is pulling the strings on some level who we don't know. I mean, you just look at the military. There's something that's so obviously out of our control. And who is even in control? We don't even know. We're not allowed to know. Even the president doesn't have a clearance high enough to know some things. Was it Clinton who tried to find out something and was told he didn't have a clearance? I mean, this is the man that can push the button and blow us all up is not allowed to know. So we know that on some level there are control mechanisms that are hidden from us. It's not the ordinary people that are working there that actually might be able to have a favorable influence on the place that they work.
Given where you're at right now, what you're seeing happening, how long do you think it will take before the first public bank besides the Bank of North Dakota will be in place or funded? What does it take to fund it?
Nothing. If they do it properly, you know the CAFR money, the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, that shows that every city, every state has tons of money stashed away in these funds that is sitting idle, or it's just drawing a little bit of interest. That money could be used as the capital. Now, capital is not money that you spend. It's an investment. So the Bank of North Dakota, for example, had a return on investment last year, I think, of 19%. Meanwhile, in the 2 years following 2008, CalPERS lost 25% and 30% with their money in the stock market, or in Wall Street, invested in it with Wall Street investment advisors. So what if they had taken that $200 billion and put it instead with the Bank of North Dakota, and they were making 19%? That's the thing. This is a paying investment. So let's say you just took some portion of the CalPERS money, or any of this money you don't need it right now. It's just sitting there for a long-term investment. And you decide that a good investment would be to put it in the Bank of North Dakota. And then for deposits, that's the revenues of the state. But again, you're not spending these deposits. You're just putting them in the bank as opposed to putting them in a Wall Street bank. And then you leverage the deposit, you leverage the capital using the deposits to clear the checks. That's the way banking works. To create money in the form of credit, you need deposits and capital. And we've got excessive amounts of both in California. But it's just a matter, again, of perception, of people understanding how the process works.
What are you excited about for 2011 as we come to the next chapter of 2011?
Well, I do think all these things can be worked out. I think we're on the verge of a totally different system, a cooperative system like the Mondragon system with public banks. And I think that we're on the verge of becoming the human organism. In other words, rather like a beehive where we actually, the internet is so connecting. It's so remarkable that we can virtually know everything. I mean, you feel omniscient. Anything you want to ask yourself, you can find the answer on the internet, and you can see people all around the world. So you start to feel connected, like you know these people, you like these people. They're not some sort of foreign, like during World War II. Somebody told me who had been in World War II. I said, well, what about these bombs that dropped on Nagasaki? And he said, well, you have to understand, we were told that these were slant-eyed devils. These weren't people to us. But now you couldn't say that. I mean, you can see for yourself that these are people just like us, that have families just like us, and that suffer just like us. So anyway, I think we're on the verge of a totally new model, and we're in the growing pains, and that's why it's painful. But that's what I get excited about, is trying to help the birthing of this new organism that is our potential, our human potential.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be a co-midwife with you. And I really thank you for taking your time. That's supposed to be your vacation in Switzerland, to be with us and to reunite with us and to have this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with, learning from, and listening to Ellen Brown, the author of The Web of Debt, The Shocking Truth About Our Money System and How We Can Break Free, and the chairman of the Public Banking Institute, Banking in the Public Interest. You can go to publicbankinginstitute.org, and you can also visit the Web of Debt by going to webofdebt.com. Ellen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kim.
It's a pleasure.